are listening to the Built to Grow podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in studio, joined as always by Randy Angston. What's up, dude?
Hey, how we doing?
Hey, doing some good stuff. Hey, want a quick, Grow Summit sponsor highlight. If you guys have ever thought about writing a book, okay, and our book's old school or not, I would tell you without a shadow of a doubt, writing a book immediately makes you an expert in the eyes of your marketplace. Now, there's a lot of ways to write a book. You can write it yourself. You can hire ghostwriters and things like that. Our friend Mike Fallett is going to be at the Grow Summit. This is what he does. He helps entrepreneurs write books. In fact, he's helped over 225 entrepreneurs write their books, and he does it within 30 days. And I know this to be true because I use Mike to write my book. He helps you write it. I know it's pretty crazy.
I'm trying to think of how I have like 6 personal friends. I think Mike's helped 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Zach kind of used them for editing. Mm-hmm. Zach wrote his own book. Mike's with Dream Starters Publishing. You can check him out at The Dream Starter on Instagram at The Dream Starter. Or if you're going to be at the Grow Summit, go talk to him. Really cool way he does it. He interviews you. He helps you lay out the book, helps you do the flow, helps you write it, and does like the cover design stuff. Get you published to Amazon and everything.
Yeah,
so you're definitely gonna want to check that out. It's basically a catapult spring board into other things. In fact, this podcast was built on the backbone of the Built to Grow book that we wrote. And he helped me with that. And we used the first 12 chapters of our book to get the first 12 episodes out of the way. Yep. And that really helped us get this show started. So definitely check out Mike. He'll be at the Grow Summit. And for anybody else that's sitting on the fence about the Grow Summit, tickets are pretty much going, we're up to tier 3 now, and there may be even a tier 4 after this. So jump in. It's just the price keeps going up. Go to winninggym.com/Scottsdale. Wonderful stuff. All right. This episode, guys, we're going to talk about team meetings, why you need to do them, how to do them, what you talk about. And this question came up in our group, right? We always are trying to ping the group with ideas and for topics, because after 215 of these episodes, it gets harder and harder. But one thing that this gentleman wrote is, hey, keep talking about this stuff because we need to hear it more and more.
Yeah, that's
often.
exactly. Yeah, it was our buddy Corey. He said, you guys have touched on some of these things over time, but pound it home. He said that repetition is the key to success, and I think that's a quote he used. And he said, as gym owners, we need to hear it until we do it.
True.
And I said, I was like, that's a great idea. Yes, let's go speak to that. And it might not, some of these things aren't sexy, guys. Like, it's not the new marketing thing that's going to revolutionize the direction of your gym or something. But we've said it before, like the way you do the small things is the way that you do the large. And you need these things as your foundation if you want to get to that next level.
Absolutely. So behind every successful business is a successful team.
Sure.
Is a team that's on point, has good leadership, has good roles and responsibilities, understands what their role is. But in order to keep your staff up to date, you got to have team meetings.
Absolutely.
In fact, this has been a non-negotiable since the day we opened. We have team meetings every single week. The days and times have changed over the years based on schedules and stuff. But one thing I would do, and this happened to us in the past, is don't hire anybody that can't be available for the team meetings, because you need that FaceTime with the team. You need that FaceTime with the director or the owner to go over things that are going on in the gym, just to become a more solidified team. A lot of the times, the coaches don't see each other, and they may be working with the same client in the afternoon or in the morning. They don't see each other until the team meeting. So a lot of times that's an important time to download the events of the week and different clients and stuff. So I'm going to just share with you our team meeting agenda. Again, take it if you want, tweak it, make it better, make it whatever you want to do. So first thing that we bring up in every single team meeting is we recognize other team members that have been doing something above and beyond.
Nice.
So we call it props. And the reason we start off with props, it sets the tone for the meeting, right? Sometimes in these meetings, it can get, you have to have some disciplinary things happen in some of these meetings because somebody's not doing something right. But you started off on a good note with props. We do things, we say who's gone above and beyond. And that could be as easy as, hey, thanks for covering my shift, or hey, thanks for jumping in, grabbing that phone call, I was busy, or hey, thanks for running that mail out to the mailbox, we needed to get that out, whatever, something that went above their job responsibilities. After we get that out of the way, it usually takes 5 minutes. We go around the room, and not every week do you have something for everybody,
Sure.
but you try to really recognize something that's great. Next, we talk about our clients. We talk about who's our current trial members. We talk about new members, any accountability issues, and then we do a little review on Perkville and points and where people are at on the board. Going back to the accountability thing, we do a mind body is what we use, and many of you use it too. But we do a report that says we want to know who in a rolling 30 days who hasn't been in 8 times.
Okay.
8 times frequency, meaning 8 sessions or 8 visits to the gym over a 30-day rolling. And that's because we know when somebody falls below that, they're at risk of leaving.
Risk, sure.
Yeah, and that's not my data. That's data from, IRSA and these other places that track that stuff. But we adopted the rule of 8 years and years ago, and it stands pretty true. If somebody's not coming in, they're going to quit. They don't see the value in it. So we got to get them in there. So
and they're not getting a result.
And they're not getting a result, right? Perfect.
With that, the trials is what I wanted to point out real quick, because one of the things that I know your team has always been very good at, and that it's built into the process here at Pulse, is understanding. Everybody at any point knows where those people are in trials. They know what the conversation should be with those people. They know when they should be communicating, what's happening after this trial, and creating those opportunities to move somebody into memberships and things like that. So having that consistent conversation where everybody on the team is now on the same page with each of those people is imperative.
Yep. And that's why we convert so many trials into members.
Sure.
When we miss a trial conversion, that hurts the most, because if you think about the person that's doing a trial that doesn't join, think about all the things that had to happen before that. They had to become a lead. They had to book an appointment. They had to get in their car to drive over there. They had to have a consultation. They had to agree that they were going to try it. Then they do try it, and if you lose it there, that hurts.
That's really that's your opportunity to shine. That's the hard part.
Yeah, and so that's why it's the first thing on the next item. Yeah, we talk about trials all the time, and we want to, because the whole team's invested in conversions.
Sure.
Right. Next thing we talk about are important items and updates. This can be anything from a new challenge in the group, or if somebody, God forbid, somebody got injured, we want to talk about that. That doesn't happen here, though, by the way. It really doesn't.
Very seldom.
You might catch a shin on a metal
box jump,
or whatever, but
I still remember those.
We change up some of our programming format on our Wednesdays. So I'm looking at an agenda. It doesn't have the date on there, but I'm looking at an agenda here. It says like the meta mindset. That's kind of our Wednesday format that I'll touch on another time. Again, challenges, the vision board stuff. These are things that we've been doing in the past. And then when we had a new app, we talk about all the features of the new app, how to get clients used to it. Again, this is stuff that has nothing to do with trade. It's business stuff.
Yeah, but that's important, right? So if your clients are using this app, and if you expect your team to be able to speak to it competently, this is where that information is shared, right? Exactly. It doesn't bring any benefit. There's no benefit to bringing in an app if you don't know how to make that a regular thing for all of your clients, and your team is going to be in charge of that.
Yeah, build it into the system.
Exactly.
They're the ones on the front line catching the questions and stuff. Okay, so again, going from the top, props. We talk about our clients, trials, new members, accountability stuff. Then we do important items and updates. If you have a challenge or like a new app, or if you've got a happy hour coming up. Then we do what's called team practice, and that's we review our standard. And if you guys go back to the episode that says the standard, we talk about one item of the standard, and in this particular one I'm looking at was the environment, and talking about keeping the bathrooms clean, the spray bottles full, the equipment in working order and organized. Again, this is not sexy, like you mentioned.
Sure.
It's the stuff that makes the place run. So we have to talk about this stuff. It's not swinging kettlebells. We're talking about spray bottles being filled up.
Yeah.
That's how granular we have to get with some of the stuff. Then we do a trainer topic. So for us, we've always done this. We rotate every week. Our coaches write a blog. Our coaches write a blog. We use that for our content marketing. We do videos around it. We do emails around it. And so this is the trainer then has to stand up and they have to present to the team their trainer topic. It's an educational thing, but it's also helps with our content. I'm pretty sure most places aren't doing this one.
No, that's actually, I think, one of my favorite aspects of your guys' team training, because it's or the team meetings, because it is an opportunity to create content and deliver that, repurpose it, have all of that delivered from a shared responsibility of the team.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's an opportunity to take that information, but then coach everybody up on the team on those topics.
Correct.
And so, everybody's ascending from one person kind of going ahead and doing the work. They can download that across the team.
Correct. Exactly.
And
so when I was in these team meetings, I wasn't necessarily always looking for the topic and the educational side. I want to see how they presented it, how they stood up, how they addressed everybody, eye contact. So I'm looking at the speaking and communication side, while maybe Zach's looking at the actual content that's being delivered. But then again, that gets emailed off to our Kelly, and she puts it online, emails it out. Zach does some of that stuff too. Okay, so that's our trainer topic. And then the last thing we talk about is our podcast topic for that week. We do a podcast here at the gym. The coaches do. I'm not involved in that one. Healthy Living Scottsdale, if you want to go check it out, leave a rating and review. If you do. Adapting was the topic. And so they talk around the topic on the Tuesday, and then they go do the podcast on Thursday.
Smart.
Yeah. And that's every single week. We work ours. I don't know if we could probably go back and talk about block scheduling and stuff, but the way our scheduling works for our coaches, we have a morning shift and afternoon shift. We call them blocks. So 5 a.m. till noon, and then 1 o'clock till 8. Those, you have a morning and PM. And so the meetings are always in the middle, right? So one coach is coming off the floor, or two coaches coming off the floor, and two coaches are coming on, and we just meet at that noon. That's why that noon time is blocked out. But that is a great, this is a absolute non-negotiable for us. When we slip up and miss some of this, things fall apart in the gym.
It's really funny. We talked recently about my morning routine, or getting yourself ready for the day. It's the same thing. It's doing the small things. It's just making sure you do the things really well that you need to do consistently, so the rest of the time when you're performing, it's at your best.
Perfect. In the past, I used to try to talk about revenue and goals and stuff. The coaches don't care. I was getting blank stares all the time. So we pulled that stuff out and then I pulled myself out, and Zach's kind of in charge of all of this.
So to be clear on that, or to talk about that. So in the meetings, because you definitely have roles and responsibilities, there's aspects of those numbers that trickle down to the team. There's, you know what I mean? They are in charge of the trials and the helping with conversions there.
Right.
So you communicated about more about that with less specifics?
Well, I used to say, hey, this month we generated X and we profited X, and no, they don't care.
Yeah.
But we do talk about is conversions, and accountability is retention.
So it's the actions that support those. Yep. It's rather than, I gotcha.
It's not the result. So you hear of leading KPIs and trailing KPIs. The trailing KPI is the result of the month before. The leading KPIs are what's our conversions on trials and the retention rates that we're keeping that month, and the actions that we could do to, so we're not, getting to the end of the month and looking backwards and saying, oh, we should have done these three things, but we're doing it consistently every single week. And our meetings are on Tuesdays. So guys, if you're not doing meetings, I highly suggest you do them. And when we work with coaches I guess they are coaches. We work with our gym owners in our private client coaching. I've heard everything from we don't do meetings to we do them once a month to we do once a quarter or every other week. I think you need to do them every single week, and you need to pay your coaches for being in the meetings. That's the other thing. Our coaches are on block schedules. No matter what they do during those time periods, they're getting paid for those hours on the clock. That includes team meetings. So don't try to be cheap and it's a team meeting, so you don't get paid. They're at your job. It's for work, so pay the guys. The guys for that stuff. So.
That brings up a good point. I mean, because that could be a future episode, but if you want your trainers to do more than be a trainer, you have to pay them for the things that they're doing outside of the training floor. You know, if you want their responsibilities to be conversions and to have, a heartbeat in the business and a care and invested interest, there needs to be some of that in other areas. It can't just be, show up on the training floor like some trainers want to do and leave at their schedule. If that's the business that you run, your pay should look just like that, though.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a team that's responsible for all of these other aspects, make them part of that process.
Yeah, we build it into the hours of the day they're going to be there. Like I said, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they're coming in an hour early or staying an hour late, but they're getting paid for that. So their shift is just an hour shifted those days, or an hour extra. And our coaches are on the clock. We have 37 hours a week of scheduled clock in, clock out. We don't track their time. We pay them for 40 hours, regardless of the actual minute they clocked into because we know they're coming in early to set the room up. We know they're staying a little bit late, but we have their schedule is 37 hours. We call that full time, and we pay them for 40 hours because we know that there's some. Yeah, like I said, a little early, a little late. It all adds up. So instead of like doing the clock in thing, which is a mess to begin with, they forget.
Which headache do you want? I will be the first to admit I was the worst. I think Tim adjusted my times more often than he didn't when I was clocking in and clocking out.
Yeah, when you were up there at the front.
At the desk? Oh, it was horrible.
Desk, yeah.
I got paid. Looking at my schedule, I think I had more scheduled hours than there were time in a week sometimes. Like, I don't know how, I just never clock out.
Yeah, never clocked out. So, there you guys go. Use that. Take our agenda if you want to, leverage what we've kind of put in place here, and then do stuff different that's more, appropriate for your gym. Go ahead on and do that. Anything we can do to help, jump on a call, pfmarketingsolutions.com/call. Guys, until next episode, keep changing lives. See you. Bye.